Karma, fate or responsibility? Do your choices shape your life or is everything already written? Is karma just mystical fate or the consequence of what we allow, ignore, or justify? Don't take my word for anything. This channel is here to spark thought, not to convince you. Be bold enough to question what you've been told, while wonder invites you to think for yourself. So, let's go back to the conversation. Hi everyone. Today I want to explore something that touches both the personal and the collective. Something spiritual, but also deeply human. Karma. Is karma just about fate and consequences? Or is it a mirror of our actions and our silence? Because what we do matters and what we choose not to do also matters. But first, let's define what we mean by karma. Because it's a word that gets used a lot and often misunderstood. In Sanskrit, karma simply means action, but in spiritual traditions like Hinduism, Buddhism, it goes deeper. Karma is the idea that every action, mental, physical, or emotional, has consequences. It's not just about punishment or reward. It's about the energy we put into the world and how that energy eventually returns to us. As the Bhagavad Gita puts it, you have the right to your actions, but not to the fruits of your actions. In Buddhism, karma is understood as part of a cycle. Intentional actions shape not only this life, but possibly the next. But even outside of religion, the concept still speaks to something universal, that our choices ripple beyond the moment, that nothing we do or avoid doing is without consequence. And that's what we are exploring today. Most people understand karma as what goes around comes around. You give love, you get love. You cause harm, harm comes back. But life doesn't always work that cleanly. We see people causing harm and never facing justice. We see kind people suffer for no reason. So, is karma broken? Or are we missing how it actually works? Karma isn't always fast. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it moves through generations. Sometimes it shows up not in events, but in who we become, in our peace, our guilt, our clarity, or confusion. Think of someone who's built a life by taking from others, exploiting workers, lying to stay in power, hurting people without remorse. Outwardly, they may seem successful, respected, untouchable, but over time, that kind of life starts to rot from within. Relationships break down, peace disappears, trust evaporates. They may not face public punishment, but internally, they are restless, paranoid, disconnected. That too is karma. Karma is less about punishment, but more about alignment. It reflects our choices, even the quiet ones, especially the quiet ones. Karma isn't only about what we do, it's also about what we choose not to do. And that part is often harder to face because it's quiet. But silence has energy, it leaves a mark. Think about this. A person is treated unfairly, not because of anything they've done, but because of their skin color, their accent, or their culture. Maybe they are followed in the store. Maybe they are denied a job. Maybe they are mocked for speaking their native language or wearing traditional clothing. And the people around them see it, but say nothing. They think it's not my business or it's not serious enough to get involved. So they look away. But that moment doesn't disappear. The pain of being humiliated stays with the person who lived it. And the silence of the witnesses, that stays too. It becomes part of the atmosphere. A quiet message that says, your dignity doesn't matter here. That silence is also a choice. And like all choices, it carries weight. Maybe not immediately, but over time, it builds. It shapes how people trust or don't trust the world around them. It shapes the energy of a community, a nation, a generation. And eventually, it returns through anger, through distance, through broken connections that might have been healed if someone had simply spoken up. Karma doesn't just come from loud, dramatic moments. It grows in the spaces where we stayed silent. And it's not just personal, it's collective. We may live in a country that directly or indirectly plays a role in the suffering of others through war, through policy, or through quiet support of harmful systems. Most people don't question it. It feels far away, complicated, not their concern. But later, when people from those places began migrating, fleeing the consequences, looking for safety, some of the same people who were silent began to complain. They see the movement of people as the problem, but forget or don't realize that this is part of the karma too. Action creates reaction. You can't harm a region directly or indirectly and expect peace to last forever at home. You can't destroy someone else's roots and then be surprised when the winds shift and blow through your own door. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. Karma isn't punishment, it's reflection. It doesn't ask, are you guilty? It asks, are you awake? Because what we ignore today doesn't stay in the past. It ripples into tomorrow. And one day it arrives not as a stranger, but as something we helped shape. Some people say everything happens for a reason, but does that mean we can turn away from what we are responsible for? If I hurt someone and say it was meant to be, does that excuse me? If I do nothing when I could have helped, can I call that fate? Karma isn't here to trap us in guilt. It's here to remind us that we are not powerless. That even in the smallest actions, there's meaning. Even in hesitation, there's consequence. So today, I'm not giving answers. I'm just asking questions we've stopped asking out loud. Who pays the price when we choose comfort over truth? Are we creating a world where only the loudest survive and everyone else is silenced? Do we justify harm when it benefits us and then wonder why the world feels cold? And what happens when we finally have to leave in the very system we helped build through silence or benefit or fear. Maybe karma is not just something that happens to us. Maybe it's something we've actively creating every single day. Thank you for being here with me. These aren't easy questions to think about, but they matter. Because the world we're shaping is the one we'll have to live in. And karma, quietly, patiently, makes sure we face what we've allowed. While wonder is a space to ask hard questions with a soft voice. So wherever you are, take care of your choices, take care of your voice, and take care of each other. Until next time, stay curious.